On today's show, VW to roll out augmented heads-up display, Tesla Model 3 gets a range boost, and well, of course, a lot more. My name's Chris, and this is Renewable News.
Sleigh bells ringing, diamonds blinging, carols singing, famous season.
First up, the Boring Company plans to expand its underground transportation system in Las Vegas, adding to the 2 tunnels which were completed in May this year. Now, whilst I haven't covered this transport system on this channel to date, because well, I doubt we'll actually see it in Australia, I think I've changed my mind. You see, right now in Melbourne, we're getting a new train line, which is 4 tunnels, 9 kilometers long, and well, it's been going since late 2016 for completion in 2025. Crikey, that's a long time, right? So I think what the Boring Tunnel are trying to do here with mass transport is actually a very good idea. So let's explore it. So the Boring Tunnel are actually doing smaller versions, and well, they were originally premised to take cars off congested roads and into underground with these fancy entry exit point things. And well, this version in Vegas is maybe a little bit pared back in that they'll use Tesla Model 3s, Model X's, and a tram built on the Model 3 platform that can fit between 12 and 16 people. So whilst able to move 4,000 people per hour, it can't compete with a trainload of passengers. That will actually be more like 39,000 per hour. But because the Boring tunnels are actually smaller in diameter and well, not so sub, they're actually quick and easy to build. And well, it only takes a year to make one of these tunnels. So for cities that are creating these massive tunnels that are engineered to carry heavy trains, well, instead, the Boring Company, is it better? I actually think so. The expansion to Vegas will be a 16-kilometer subsurface loop that serves the famous Las Vegas strip of casino hotels and reaches the city downtown area, as well as McCarran International Airport, all with Tesla vehicles. The Boring Company obviously pays for the tunnels to be built, but also the businesses who want a station at their premise, they build the station themselves. And then supposedly it's going to be about $1 or a few per ride. So if you're thinking about 4,000 people per hour, you put that across 18 hours of a day, you're talking about $70K a day alone. So the economics obviously do stack up. And add to that, the speed and efficiency of which they can get these into cities. So I'd love to see these come to Australia, and they would be a great fit for our cities and will solve our issues of transportation around inner urban areas very quickly and well, less expensive. Here's something I'm excited to see with reservations. Check out VW's augmented reality heads-up display, which will soon be available on the ID3 and ID4. A heads-up display that's on steroids, shall we call it. And well, it projects information onto the windscreen and separates it into 2 fields and well, 2 levels. The large window for the dynamic display is located in the driver's field of view at a virtual distance of around 10 meters and virtually gives it a presence of around 1.8 meters. That seems rather large, doesn't it? Distracting? I have my reservations. The other one is close range and is located as a flat band under the large far range window. This shows the driving speed, road signs, and assists with navigation symbols and well, static display information. VW claims that all displays are positioned perfectly in line with the real world outside the vehicle and are shown dynamically, which is why I have concerns. Do you think these will be distracting or actually augment, that is complement, driver awareness? Put your comments below, I'd like to hear from you. Okay, remember over a year ago when Amazon promised its version of a robot taxi named Zoox? Well, they stepped up their campaign with keen-eyed EV fans taking pictures of them filming a promo video in San Francisco. This electric, full autonomous vehicle capable of doing supposedly 18 hours of driving a day thanks to its 100 plus kilowatt hour battery pack. It will be fully autonomous and has been designed by Zoox for urban inner city areas. As they call them, this is for riders, not for drivers. It turns out these guys have actually been working on it for quite some time, and well, Mike Cannon-Brookes brought it to my attention in 2019, where he invested some money in the project. And well, it makes sense that with Amazon's reach, how well basically they've got, I think, some fulfillment centers here in Victoria and maybe in the state. I think they're expanding the network, so maybe we'll see those shops where you don't actually need to go to a checkout. You literally get tracked and you walk out the store with your stuff and they charge your account. It's pretty trendy. Check those videos out if you don't know what I'm talking about. And then conversely, this is like maybe a supplement to taxis. And well, maybe just the death of like taxi drivers because, well, let's face it, Tesla, the autonomous network it is trying to make, I've got my doubts about what our future's going to look like for people who currently do driving as a livelihood. And yet another sign that soon enough, EVs will be the same price as conventional engine-powered cars. Revealed in Bloomberg's annual battery price survey, they've actually been tracking this since 2010 around lithium-ion battery packs, their prices, and how much per kilowatt hour they actually make, or they cost to produce rather. Back in 2010, there was like $1,100 per kilowatt hour. Fast forward 10 years, and well, they've fallen by 89% in real terms to, on average, $137 per kilowatt hour in 2020. And well, for some places like in China, where they're putting these things into buses, they've actually been able to get this beneath $100. And now, well, this is significant, as like in most parts of the world, buying an EV is still more expensive proposition when few people can actually do that. Because look, let's face it, when you're buying a car, what's the first thing you decide on? Your budget, then your brands, then your features, I think. Call me wrong, put your comment below. But Elon has noted, and what many others have noted, that when the price of battery packs drop below that $100 per kilowatt hour charge, then the cost of making a car versus an EV is actually less. It's actually less making an EV. Yeah. So this is when everything will flip over. EVs will be cheaper to buy. People will buy them. ICE cars will go away, just naturally, organically, shall we say. Incentives, disincentives need not apply. Now, the million-dollar question here is, when will this magic $100 price happen? Bloomberg estimates that it'll be 2023, where average prices will be actually closer to $100 per kilowatt hour. Now, about those EV incentives. Okay, time for another round of mail time. And well, last week, and well, several weeks ago, I brought you the bad news, good news story of like EV charging networks increasing the kilowatt hour charge and well, joining Macca's for some charging at their stores. And well, Marco Court wrote, "Great idea, free EV charging while having dinner. Go EV." Now, I'd love to say it's free. I have my reservations. I haven't been out there yet, and I definitely will in about a week and a half. Wonder why. But when I do, I'll put a little video up and let you know. But I think this is a great partnership and something that you'll be seeing more and more because look, we're seeing it now coming up in service stations. And well, this is the next iteration. You go to a shopping mall, you can charge up. Yeah, it's great for business. It's a win-win for everybody. Last week, I was fortunate to have the chair of the EV Council, Tim Washington, on the channel, and he interviewed and shared his thoughts around the recent announcements by the Victorian government to tax EVs for actually using the roads. And well, you guys had this to say about it. A good example, and thanks so much for getting the amazing Tim Washington on your show. It's always great to hear Tim's views. I wrote to my state MP and the Queensland Treasurer protesting against the planned EV user tax in Vic and South Australian government and New South Wales, and asking him not to introduce this in Queensland. Thankfully, shortly after writing, the Queensland government said there will be no new EV tax in Queensland in the near future, and I feel for residents of Vic and South Australia. And look, let me finish up with this comment from Robert Reardon. Thanks for continually trying to get the message out there. Maybe one day, one or perhaps even some of our politicians will grow a conscience and try to do something and encourage the use of electric vehicles to improve our environment. Especially in Victoria, where we have one of the worst bushfire-prone environments in the world. The politicians I have sent emails to over the last few weeks about this new electric vehicle tax, both Labor government and Liberal opposition, have not responded at all. I found out today that they passed a law as part of the budget in the last week. How do we give them the message that we are not happy and get them to remove the new tax? I think what you've actually done there, Robert, is perfect. actually try and speak with your member. Writing is good, doing a petition is good, but actually getting on the phone and in person with someone is much more powerful. I myself, I reached out to Lily D'Ambrose and asked her for an interview to discuss this very issue, and if she agrees, I'll bring it as soon as it happens, like fresh off the press. Now, if you're feeling like me, that there is nothing that we can do and it's just kind of fait accompli, it's just going to happen, well, don't lose hope. Legislation can be rolled back, governments can change, and well, the Greens successfully get their bill up through the federal Senate, that will basically disincentivize states from doing this, and it will reduce their funding federally if they do it. So I do hope that this silliness will be undone. These EV taxes are discriminatory, and well, they will disincentivize people to switch to cleaner and greener forms of transport. You know, I think there's going to be a lot of happy customers in China this Christmas, with footage revealing Model Ys amassing outside the Giga Shanghai. With thanks to Wu Wa and his near daily flyovers of the factory, he captured this bunch. What's the collective noun for like dozens of Tesla Model Ys? Comment below. Well, in an attempt to hide them from would-be drone fans, or is it just maybe to hide them from the elements until the owners have to their pickup arranged? The footage, linked below by the way, shows a long line of Model Ys being driven to like a big parking lot and then covered in these wraps. Congratulations Tesla, and well, those in China who are getting one. Now, the bazillion-dollar question is, man, there's a lot of those questions today. When will Australia get the Model Y? Will it be 2021? Will they be from California, or will they be from Shanghai? Let me know. Sticking with Tesla for a moment, in last week's show, I brought you news on the 2021 Tesla Model 3 in Australia, and well, for those lucky owners who will soon be receiving them, you'll be getting a bit of extra range. With thanks to someone at Tesla doing this, yep, a bit of math and smart stuff, they've added about 20 kilometers of range. That's 20 kilometers, that's not insignificant, to, well, Teslas, just by like iterating, tweaking, improving, and passing on the learnings to customers. It's pretty amazing stuff, and I congratulate Tesla in doing this, and for keeping these free over the updates coming, because, well, legacy car makers, I think they just can't continue doing what they're doing, and they're going to have to find a new way to get some income happening. And yeah, this is a real good value add. And nice. I look forward to anyone. If you've got a 2021 Tesla Model 3, can you please reach out to me and we'll do a little bit of a drive around. Yeah, it'll be a story. You'll be filmed. You don't have to be filmed. It can just be me. You get the idea. Next, okay, everyone, turn up your volume. I'm going to do something really special here. And for like those who drive BMWs, Porsches, and Teslas, I want you to pay particular attention. Ready? Now, listen. Hear that? Nothing, right? Yes, nothing. I did nothing. I was just playing with you. I'm sorry. Hashtag not sorry. But the reason for like my trickery is that like DSP and Bose, well, they're partnering together to bring your next car, or maybe even your current car, with some awesome silence. You see, DSP and the technology like Audio Weaver is used in Teslas, Beamers, and Porsches. And well, this new partnership, I think is going to be a great thing. See, either you love Bose or you hate them, but you got to admit that the noise cancellation tech that Bose do is pretty impressive, and they were a class leader for a long time there before I think Sony one-upped them. How do they do it, and how will it work in cars? If I recall correctly, noise cancellation works just by inverting sound waves to cancel out certain frequencies that are tuned by Bose, Sony, whoever actually does that. So that will mean that the internal mugs in the cabin pick up the road noise and tire noise in the side of it, and they put it through like a chip and a bit of circuitry and a bit of software, and they push the inverse sound wave back out through the speakers in the car, thus cancelling out some noise. And if you've ever had noise cancelling headphones, again, you either love them or hate them. I love them, my wife hates them. But essentially, they work awesome on planes where you've got that constant drone of that noise. And that I think can also be eliminated somewhat within cars. And this would be a great addition to this segment. All right, Time for 2 more stories, but before I do, I want to say a big thank you for watching so far, particularly for the more than 7,000 people who subscribed to me. 7,000! Like, wow! I'm so grateful. And look, it's been a tough year, and at times making content has been extremely challenging for me, with like being stood down from work, kids getting very, very sick, to being in lockdown for more than 5 months. And look, I'm sure glad that things look on the improve in Australia, kind of. And well, no matter where you are, please stay safe, keep your spirits up, and even if it means escaping with me like for 15 minutes a week, please find your happy place, no matter what it is, and well, enjoy. Okay, so guess what? Subaru is going to make an EV. Well, I mean Subaru Europe. That's like a subsidiary of the Subaru Corporation in Japan, who in the past haven't really been very supportive of EVs whatsoever. Last week, the company confirmed that they're preparing to launch a fully electric vehicle in the mid-size SUV segment, similar in size to like the Subaru Forester model and built on a platform shared with Toyota. There's another surprise, another company who's not very good in the whole EV thing. Now, additionally, information will be shared sometime next year, but look, here's hoping that they actually will prove me wrong and, I have to withdraw my negative comments around them. And well, that actually be successful in this space because look, Subaru in Australia is quite a big brand and they do quite well over here. And they brought an EV to here, it would do great. And well, one more story, which today isn't really a story. You see, this coming Thursday, that's Christmas Eve, the 24th of December, the federal government will finally, 2 years later, be releasing its long-awaited EV policy / strategy paper, detailing how they envision Australia progress to like cleaner and greener forms of transport. And well, sadly, the cat is already out the bag and well, it's a non-starter. Here are the exciting takeaway points from it. $72 million in funding already announced for co-investing in charging infrastructure. Who here has seen the ABC comedy Utopia, aka Dreamland? That's like the overseas version of the same show. Rob Sitch, he's responsible for rebranding and re-announcing government announcements and to make them seem like the newly funded projects. Yep, Scotty from marketing is very good at this. Nation building authority, COVID gas-led recovery, it's all BS. And well, Utopia is the media partner. Anyhow, a 2-year trial on electric car fleet for Comcar, which provides cars and drivers for like politicians and well, high, judgy people, and well, what? Another trial? 9 years after this? I wonder what changed. Yeah, like tech, batteries, Tesla, and more. There's no need for a trial. Just do like New Zealand has done and get on with it. Another exciting feature of the EV's policy paper is updating the green vehicle website. Done. And finally, they'll be asking energy agencies to look at options for car to home and car to grid battery use. Done and done. Seriously. Oh my God. Angus, buddy, if you're watching, what are you doing? This is pathetic. Did you forget to do your homework? So you just scraped together a few little papers, just wrote a few little bits on paper, asked a friend on the phone before the meeting and said, what the hell am I supposed to do? I've got to bring something. I promised it 2 years ago and I have done nothing. It is absolutely I could just imagine you. Yeah, look, this will do. People hate EVs, right? Yeah, they're going to ruin the weekend. Imagine tradies having to drive an electric vehicle. Oh my God, we'll have a revolt. No, we do care. Where are the ICE car bans, vehicle emission standards, petrol standards, EV incentives? There's zip nada nothing here. It's pathetic and well, something I won't be reporting on post-Christmas. So with that disappointing yet predictable news out the way, I just want to remind viewers that we all need to be active in this space and we'll reach out to our local member and talk to them. Obviously, do it politely and, sincerely and educate them. Help them understand what it actually means and what it looks like to be driving around in an electric vehicle. Or if EVs aren't your thing, you don't drive, that's fine. Get them to support policies around solar, wind, battery storage, circular economies, and using less. Yeah, participate in local communities, join a local action group. Just shift the conversation towards cleaner and greener ways of transport and, well, living for that matter. Look, I've left links below to the 2 petitions that are going on now for EV incentives. So please do put your name down below and let's make this world a better place. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this show. This will be the last final news for 2020, but you'll be seeing lots of videos from me that I've been busy putting together so that I can have a little break from YouTube. December 31, I'll be doing a review of 2020 and looking to 2021, noting what EVs and renewable energy projects are coming to Australia, plus a very special announcement or 3 on the last day of 2020. I want to thank everyone who has not only watched my videos in 2020, but also subscribed. And look, 7,000 is an amazing feat. I want to especially thank my patrons for supporting me, providing me with materials and their time to bring you some of the stuff that I brought you this year. And a big shout out to my producer level patrons, and that is Tessa Nagong, Nigel Farrier, and Ashley Hill. If you are in the market for a Tesla Model S, X or 3, consider using like their referral codes or mine. I don't mind whose you use, but nonetheless save yourself a little bit of money with some free supercharging credits and pay it forward to the next person when you get your Tesla Model 3 or whatever it might be, or Powerwall. Yeah. Anyhow, I want you all to stay safe, have a very merry holiday season, and I look forward to seeing you very soon.